least I moved from the ones. I'm now in 2. Not the best CGPA, but it was an improvement. And yes, I'm grateful for the time I spent in their house. I am really grateful for it. And then came second semester and it was over, and 100 level was over. Now moving to 200 level. During the break, this same people I talked about, the uncle and his wife that I stayed with, just messaged me during the holiday like, oh, Winnie, what's up, how you doing? Now Bowen University has opened like an admission. There is an opening in Bowen University to study human nutrition, and they offer human nutrition, and since that's what you want to study, now keep in mind I still taught human nutrition how to do food. Like I thought it was just food and anything food related. That was what I thought. But nonetheless, like there's an opening in Bowen University. Do you want to check it out? Talk to my parents about it, and my dad was like, sure, go to Bowen University and check it out. And I drove down there with my mom, and driving there, we went to see the HOD and the admission officer. Like, okay, I want to come to the university, and I was like doing they gave me an admission form to fill, and then my mom now brought it up. My mom brought it up with HOD that she has finished 100 level in UI. Is it possible for her to transfer to 200 level? And HOD was like, yes, it's possible. But we'll need to see like a course list of the courses she has taken, and if it tallies with the courses that we are offering here in 100 level, and then a CGP as well. We'll be able to obtain a transcript and then transfer here. They're like, yes, they'll just use her CGPA to move. I'm like, no. Please, which CGPA are you using? What CGPA? The 1 point or the 2 point? Please, no, I was not going to have it. I was not going to have that all crossing over to 200 level. Like, who 200? I was like, in my mind, I was like, who 200 level up? Why what's your big deal about losing a year and starting over? Please, I am gladly going to study 100 level afresh. And my mom was still adamant on transfer, but the HOD kind of, I don't know if she didn't know my CGPA was bad, but I think from my own standpoint was, even if I did transfer to 200 level, I would have to take some courses in the 100 level. Like I would still have to take some 100 level courses, so why not just take it like all together, all the same? And I was like, yes, I'm with you. I am 100% too. I am not transferring to 200 level. And we were able to convince my mom when I was going to start 100 level at fresh in Bowen University, human nutrition and dietetics. Now that was a second chance for me. It was a big thing, because looking back at it, not everybody gets a chance to rewrite their stories. Some people end up like still finishing up where they started, but for me, I had a second chance to redeem my academic pride, and I just knew that I could not mess it up. One reason being the fact that Bowen's fees was literally 10 times more than UI's fees, than $500,000, and I knew that I could not even mess it up. I could not. If I did, my life is over. That is it, because the money was a lot, and like, how do you pay 100 level twice? Just how? I just knew I could not mess it up. So I think that was my wake-up call to do better. Okay, now you have a second chance. Try to redeem yourself and put in your best. And now I came with a new like vibe of seriousness. Now my uncles as well gave me this pep talk. See, you're getting too boring. Drop the mentality of you're an average student. People getting first class don't have to wait. You can make a first class, and drop that whole mentality. Try to be more serious, put in more effort. And I was like, okay, yes, I got it. And that was what I mean. I had PTSD from UI as well, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to put in my best. Going to first class was the goal. It was first class or nothing for me at the time. So taking classes, I was serious in my classes. I was serious anything I didn't understand. I would go for tutorials, especially when it came to chemistry, because and as much as I loved chemistry began to look big for me, and I was like, you know what, anything I didn't understand, there was a guy in another level, in a higher level, that was taking tutorials, and I would make sure to attend. And that was just it. I was putting a lot of seriousness, and at the end of my first semester I had a 4.68. Like, what? That's in first class. First class started from 4.5, and now Bowen was using a 5-point grading system, and I had a 4.5, a 4.68. First class started from 4.5, and I was like, wow, you don't mean it. I can make a first class. And I think that became my drive. The fact that, oh, I'm actually not an average student. You're only average if you decide to be. If you decide to be more than average, then you will be more than average. I mean, that's a little motivation, but that was just my drive, and I was putting in the work and just made sure that I wasn't going to flunk in school. And then 200 level came, and began to take nutrition courses proper, and that was when my eyes were opened, and I saw that, oh, nutrition is more than just food. It has to do with the health. Like we're looking at diseases, we're studying diseases and diet therapy, using like modifying different diets to suit different medical conditions. And for me that was like, wow, so you can do this, so this is possible. And I remember I'm not a library person. I really don't like going to libraries to read, but I would go to the library to read textbooks during that whole period in like my stay in Bowen University. I'll go to read textbooks, and it was during one of my library escapades I first read about eating disorders. I had never heard anything about that, so I was like, stuff like this exists. Basically, I was drawn to nutrition. Now, to say the least, I was interested, I was passionate about it. Beyond the whole cooking and modifying diets, I was also passionate about health. Reading about eating disorders, how could people like go through that? What can be done to help them? Different things, and that was just what was going on in my head. I went for industrial attachment in 300 level, and I worked in like the university college hospital and seen first-hand cases of things that I read about or learned about in school. I'm doing word rounds and all that still now made me love clinical nutrition more. Like, okay, things like this, it's not just pen and paper, it's not just when you're learning, you get to see patients with different conditions and how dietitians are trying to help them, and I'm like, wow. So that was it. However, I did not graduate with a first class. 300 level was a rough year for me, and my CGPA tanked. I remember dropping to a 4 point. I think my CGPA at the time was barely 4.54. Getting to 300 level, I was like CGPA from 100 and 200, and I remember, was it 4.5? It was 4.5 something. And I remember by the end of 300 level, I had dropped to a 4.14. I remember that, and it wasn't even looking like first class was going to be feasible for me, but I made sure to have a first class in my final year. My final year, my total GP was 4.86, and still didn't make it to a first class. Did not make it. I was borderline close, but nobody cares. But that's by the way. That's by the way. I'm not about CGPA. I'm talking about my journey in nutrition. I was interested in nutrition. I was passionate about nutrition, and I knew that I wanted to practice nutrition going forward. And I was grateful for the opportunity, because I would say this: not everybody has not everybody has the opportunity for a second chance, and I'm grateful for that opportunity that I got, because I was like, imagining if I did not leave UI, if I stayed back in UI studying forest resources management 4 or 5 years with a CGPA that was already terrible and carryovers that I would have had to retake God knows how many times, because chemistry 157 is not something you want to keep retaking. But I'm glad that I got a second chance, and yes, I got inducted into the Nutrition Society, currently doing my National Youth Service, which is something you have to do as a graduate for 1 year. And now the branch of nutrition that I am currently in NYC's academia, I get to lecture, and now academia also opened my eyes, like, okay, this branch of nutrition is actually not that bad. I love it. Do I want to keep practicing it? Probably not. We'll see. But anyways, that's just my story and my story time of how I became a nutritionist, really, from forensic science to nutrition. And I don't think I would change it. I would not change it for the world. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the second chance. However, I want to say this: whatever you like, there's a saying that whatever you find to do it well, and I will give that advice to everybody coming in. Like, probably nutrition wasn't what you wanted to study. I know I had classmates that wanted to study medicine or nursing or physiotherapy, but found themselves in nutrition, and some of them didn't like the course. And I could relate, because I also didn't like forest resources management. But nonetheless, try to put in your best. Try to make sure that you are like doing every single thing that you can to pass, and not just like have a C, not just having a CGPA that you will just get by, but something that you can be proud of. I understand that, like, we're all different. Not everybody's going to make it first class. Not everybody's going to make it 2-1. But just try to make sure you're doing well in school. School is not a scam, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And another thing I would like to say is try to develop healthy relationships throughout like your journey in school, because healthy relationships with your lecturers or your supervisors, or even when you go for internships, try to develop healthy relationships with the people there, because getting inducted into the Nutrition Society, people that had to sign, like, you have to meet the state secretary and all that. Probably I'll do another video on how to get inducted. However, I think I have a video. I do have a video on my induction. I'll probably link it up for you people to watch if you haven't watched it. But what I'm trying to say is, I lost my train of thought, is develop healthy relationships. The dietitians that I worked with in UCH were very beneficial in my whole process of getting inducted, and even in my final year project. My supervisors are still very important. You will need your supervisors for reference letters if you plan on going for grad school. So basically, develop healthy relationships and do whatever you find to do it well. Don't lazy around. School is not a scam, and understand that not everybody will get a second chance. But if you do get a second chance to study what you love, still put in your best.